start us off with
No,
a statement?
yeah, I'm just very happy with the win. I think this is a great rivalry between Miami and Florida State. I told someone before the game that a friend of mine who had seen Florida State play a number of times told me he thinks it's the best Florida State team since Leonard's been there. So obviously very respectful and know that Leonard has built a great program there, and that our guys were going to have to play very, very hard and play very well. But it was two top 25 teams going at each other, and we were very fortunate to come out on top.
Coach, Chris likes is just lightning in a bottle off the bench, but it seems players even defer to him once he comes in. What have you seen from him since he's gotten on campus?
When we recruited Chris and we saw him play in high school, you can immediately see the electricity he brings to the game with his speed, quickness, and scoring ability. We're very excited about him being here. I thought he played terrific tonight. But like all freshmen, I think he's learning. And there are some things that will make him a much better player as he gets older. But tonight he was really in charge.
Talk about the few days since the Georgia Tech loss. I'm sure that didn't rest real well with anybody.
Well, I was trying to put it in its proper perspective. We played at American Airlines Arena in early December, then at George Washington, then at Hawaii, at playing New Mexico State, at Middle Tennessee, not at their home courts, but in Hawaii, and come back and travel to Pittsburgh and then travel to Atlanta. So when you're traveling a lot, and this not only goes for our basketball team, but for all of you sitting here, traveling is exhausting. And we didn't have the kind of energy that we've had at times, and even in practice. It was very funny today, really for the first time since we've gotten back from Hawaii, today, not yesterday or the day before, I saw tremendous energy at the shoot-around. And I thought that was a good sign. I was hoping it was a good sign. And it turned out to be. I thought we played really, really hard. But we're back now. We've got some time to regroup and work on some things that we need to improve on, and we'll do that.
Jim, what did you think of your team's offensive performance tonight? I know you had some comments before the game.
I had some comments before this. I normally do, right?
Turnovers, field goal percent the last
Yeah.
game.
Well, as I said, I think we're capable in an open game of playing better than just in a half-court game. It's just, I think, the way we're made. But some teams don't get up and down the floor like a Florida State does. But I think we're very capable of scoring 75 or 80 points every night out if the opponent will agree to run. But some opponents don't do that. They slow the game down. And then that's a little bit more challenging for us. We need to shoot the ball a little bit better in games like that because we get some good threes. Like tonight when Florida State switched the zone, we didn't make a couple of wide-open shots. Oh, you got to make those. And hopefully we'll get better at that and be able to score at a high rate. Like, if you look at the teams around the league, there are some teams that can really, really score, and then you have other teams that play very conservatively and try to keep the game in the 50s. Oh, we're kind of in that middle range. Maybe about 75 would be great for us.
Jim, what did you think of the run they made? Actually, it's almost like you knew it was coming at some point. And how did you feel your team responded?
Well, we got the double-digit lead going into the half, and I was happy about that. And we were able to sustain a double-digit lead for a very, very long period of time in the second half. At some point, they just drove the ball to the basket, shot it, missed it, and rebounded it in. That's what they're very, very good at. They're a tremendous offensive rebounding team. and we weren't able to keep them off the backboards quite enough and out of the lane quite enough. But overall, if you look at our field goal percentage defense from 2 and from 3, you see they ended up the game shooting 36% overall and 20% from 3. I'll take that every night. Season low. So that's pretty good defense. I didn't see the rebounds totally yet. So they out-rebounded us by 12. Yeah, and they had 21 offensive rebounds. So we've known that. We're not a great rebounding team. So how do you get better? It's like saying to a guy, if you're not a great shooting team, how do you become a good shooting team? A rebounding team that, if you're not that good at rebounding, you got to try to find guys. Anthony Lawrence is a huge player in this. He had 12 rebounds tonight. Oh.
Jim, can you speak to the confidence that you have in DeJuan when he has the ball in his hands and also his teammates as well?
Yeah, I should, because I've worked a lot with DeJuan in these last 2 seasons. If I don't have confidence in him, I don't know who would. But no, he's having a great sophomore year.
What did you see from Bruce's game tonight?
If you watched us practice yesterday, we did not make a shot, anybody. And so last night I was at a wedding. I called the guys on my way back from the wedding. I told Bruce, you need to just go watch highlights of yourself to see how good you are. So right after the game was over, he said, I did. I went and watched highlights of myself. So I think guys just need to think positively and have confidence. I got confidence in them. It's one of those things. Confidence comes and goes for all players at all levels. And games have strange runs. I watch a lot of NBA games because my son is with the Celtics. And there was a game against the Houston Rockets a week ago maybe. And the Celtics were down 26. I wanted to turn the TV off and just, do something else. And then all of a sudden it was 20. Then it was 16. And then with under a minute to go, like 20 seconds, they're down 6. And they win the game. They win the game in regulation. And I'm like, the game of basketball is crazy. There's so many runs. And as a coach, you're always trying to figure out, who do I need in there at this time? Who's playing well right now? Who's well rested? Who will defend? I was looking, Buka is one of our best rebounders. In the first half, he and DeJuan played great together. So then the second half, I put him in, he gets in foul trouble. And nothing I can do about that.
Jim, you started Lonnie Walker tonight. I was trying to get him going.
Well, I think we're trying to get everybody going. And Lonnie is one of those guys. He's a very gifted athlete, very gifted scorer, very gifted shooter. And we're trying to get him going. And I talked to DJ Vasilovich and said, hey, I'm going to bring you in off the bench and see if you can give us a lift, which I think he did. But he missed some shots that I can't believe it didn't go in. There are some players when they shoot, I ain't going in. With DJ, every time he takes a shot, I think it's going in. Because in practice and in drills, he's phenomenal. And I think, he's helping us. I thought he helped us tonight, even though he didn't shoot great.
Jim, you went with a group of Bruce, DJ, and DeJuan Buell and Anthony Lawrence for large portions of that second half. And they really played well as a group. Just talk about that group and how well they played.
Well, we keep a running total on the bench of plus minus. So if we find a group that's really clicking, I just stick with them. And the coaches will, like we were going to stick with Buka, because the coaches told me, Coach, we're 1.4 per possession on offense and we're 0.4 on defense. They weren't scoring with those two guys in the game. That was first half. And in the second half, that changed, because when you foul, you're giving up points at the foul line. So we're just trying to find the right group.
Looking ahead, did you catch Clemson Saturday since we went?
I ain't looking ahead except to dinner. I'm hungry.
One more question.
Michelle? No question. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Happy Sunday.